Bashers. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Classic Bashers, your Friday installment with me, Dirk, your host. And it's your show. I just hosted. Machine will be dropping in quite soon when he's done with Who Needs a Drink. Great to see everybody in the room. And look who finally got in at number one. His ambition for the longest time. Yes, I've done it. A lifetime of struggle is finally rewarded. Yeah, you'll be getting your Bashers song this afternoon, right after I'm done with the show. Numero uno, baby. I have to confess a secret weapon in my fight for justice. Basherdirk just gave me a heads up. It's all mine. I did. I sent him an email because I know he's been like, damn it, dag nabbit, how come I can't get in there at number one? Well, you finally did. I said, I'm about to post it. Bang. Easy E is here and he says, oh no, I don't trust YouTube. No, I was like a little thing. I just wanted to make sure you got a heads up on that. Easy E. Well, if I was number one, just happen to look at my main YouTube page to be, I don't know what that means. Then I relinquish it to you, good Sir Ken. I see him in there at number one. Is that not true? Listen, who knows what's going on with YouTube now that I have the power. I edited the live bash about, but not knowing what I'm doing because I'm learning how to use the YouTube studio because I've never had the power. I edited the beginning of it because it was a lot of like 18 seconds of cack, and I edited it out. But meanwhile, what did I really do? I edited the rest of the video off and just left the gack. I've reversed it. It should be up as soon as possible, and I apologize for anybody who tried to watch the bash about and didn't get a chance to do it. I did it this morning at around 10:30, right before I left, because I went and I spent the day at the Museum of Natural History with the cousins, the Italian cousins, and we had a very, very nice day. We went to the Natural History Museum. We took Davide, Stefania, Ettore, and Pietro to a diner, which was I surprised them. They didn't know I was coming. And here's a really funny story. So, or at least I think it's really funny. So I get to the Museum of Natural History, and there is a line from the beginning of the museum is enormous. And I get to the museum, and there's a line from the front door all the way around the corner. And I said, well, how long is that line? And he said, oh, it's about an hour and a half. And I went, oh no, they were already in there. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I went around to this other entrance where members get in, and I said, hey, I have an issue. I've got people in here. And they're like, just go buy a ticket online and then come back here. And there's another line, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I went around to this other entrance, and I saw about 10 or 12 people there, and I saw people were getting in. So I bought my ticket online, and I got up to the gate, and the girl says, what time are you scheduled for? And I went, oh, per favore, signore, miei cugini, I'm lost. I pretended I was from Italy. I said, I'm lost. We were noi sieme, non sieme. And she's like, what happened? I went, mi famiglia inside the museum now, adesso. And she goes, go right in. They let me right in the door. I didn't wait on any lines at all. I just bought a ticket online. I did the pay as you go crap, because if you live in New York, you get a discounted rate. So it was like $25 or whatever it was. And I went in and I found them in like 2 minutes. And that was my story. So it was pretty great. Ken Furby says, thank you, Dirk. My blood pressure has returned to normal. To ensure that continues, upvote, subscribe. You know the rules. Please do so. I had the millie on all day, but I came home, took a shower because the subway train I took home had no air conditioning, and I was at El Schwitzo. So I had to take a quick shower, and then I just threw on a t-shirt and my Speedy, and I'm ready to go. How are you guys all doing today in the Basher world? Ken Furby says, thanks, Easy. That's kind of feels slightly riddled with guilt after the leg up I got from the boss. Hey, man, you know what? Why not? Every once in a while, it helps. Having a double espresso just to get my bearings back. Dean says, Ken Furby, the Jedi reflexes paid off. Well, you still had to do it quickly. Dave Fahrenheit 451 upvoted number 3 for thee, sir. And it's great to see you in the room, Dean. Thank you so much. Ken says, thanks, Dean. Force assistance from OB Dirk Kenobi. Hey, you got to do what you got to do in that big shitty there. Melly season, one of only. So the girls are Jelena, Carolyn Martin, Jocelyn. Let's see, all the girls. Melly C, Jocelyn, Jelena, Carolyn Martin. Who are the other girls? Very few of the you're all 1.2% of the. Now that I get to see the demographic, it says gender responses. I was like, I don't see gender. Ray got that Friday feeling. Yeah, Ray, all hail the mighty number one Ken Furby. You did it in a minute. Is that a Hall & Oates song? You did it in a minute. Not quite sure. Blessings to Ray and Melly C and to one and all. Am I forgetting some of the girls? I think I probably am. Dean says, Ray, I've picked up a few new words to say to people. Fuk, feck, goal, goba, gobim, greed, leet, gargle. I know what some of those mean, not all of them. Andrew Olkowicz with Canadian $10. First guy in with a super cry. Let's all take a moment to give congratulations to Ken for achieving his lifetime goal. Well, I'm sure he's got better lifetime goals than just that. Now that you've done it, what are you going to do now, Ken Furby? Let's also take a moment to upvote, subscribe, as well as share the show with friends and others. Please do so. It really helps me out and helps the whole thing out. It lets me continue to do this every goddamn day. And let's see what happens now that I'm the proprietress. Angela Minichello, have you seen the movie Idiocracy from 2006? Comedy, but scary as hell. I don't think that I have. And I'm not quite sure what it is. Idiocracy. Idiocracy movie. Who's in that? Idiocracy. Okay. It's a Mike Judge movie. That's the Beavis and Butthead guy. Wow. Oh, it didn't do very well. Oh my God. It cost $2.5 million and only made $500,000. It's Luke Wilson, Maya Rudolph, Terry Crews, Dak Shepard. It's got an all-star cast. Franco Fiore. Grazie mille, signore. Upvote, please. Yeah, doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. I got to see on the analytics what we're doing pretty good when it comes to the upvoting. It's like a lot of them are 100%. That's amazing. I'll take it. Ray, Dean, don't forget Funk Dog. What's Funk Dog mean, Ray? Big fella, fairly upbeat tonight. Cool show. I've been on the run, so I haven't been able to see anything that he's been doing. But he'll be in and he'll let us know. Ray, thanks. I've made a note off of that. Wow, just found the translation of that phrase. I don't even know. Link for Alan Turing. Poor Alan Turing. That's just not fair. Chemically castrated. Hitesh, she's in the room. Upvoted. We'll be back as soon as Ush is done. Oh, so he's hanging out over there. I mean, a lot of you do. Ken Furby, thanks, Andrew. At least I can truly sit back and enjoy my retirement free from the pressures of numero uno status. Once you've been there, the only place to go is down. Shetty has yet to talk about vino. Oh, he hasn't talked about wine yet, huh? Is that true? He talked about wine for ages the other night. I have a bottle of wine in the fridge I bought on my way home. I stopped in the liquor store. I just got a bottle of white wine just so I can spritz it. I did have a ice cold Budweiser after the museo. Angela Minikillo, forget smarmy politicians. Upvote for Dirk. Thank you so much. And David Simon, specialisti, massive congratulations. Ken, it's hard to say congratulations in Italian. Congratulone. I forget. I can never do it. It's a tongue twister. I love the word colazione. It means breakfast. Congratulazione. I don't know. Sheen will tell me when he gets in the room. Easy E, talk about Vino. Well, he probably said he was going to talk about it in there. There's Aaron O'Malley, the eldest brother of Mr. O'Malley. He's the O'Malley of another vintage. How are you doing in there? Did you get your one-hander yet? Are you working towards your one-hander? Maybe that'll be your Christmas dealio. Easy E, yes, on Ush's stream, he has yet to talk about it. Okay. What are you watching? Both streams at the same time? Are you double fisting with the streams right now? Everybody's been streaming. And Asheen doesn't count because he can do whatever he wants, but other channels have been streaming on at my time. I don't know how I feel about that. I think he might do it on Dirk Show. Yeah, we could certainly talk about wine on my show. Sure. I'm a wine guy. The Gash Man says, hey, Dirkster and fellow Bashers. Hey, Gash Man, great to see you too. Great to see you in the room. Now, look to see if there's any of the. Is there any gallery? It's not very much gallery. I would say, I like to do it since I never get around to doing it on Friday. I would have done it. Congratulations, Ken Furby. We all think that. Congratulations to you. Carolyn Martin says, I'm a sponsor of the Museum of Natural History, and I'm sending security your picture. Hey, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. They were in there. Their appointment, because Paul's dad worked at the Museum of Natural History for, I don't know, 1 billion years. He's a window designer, and he did amazing stuff. And I called him up. I said, is there anything you could do? He goes, I'm not there. If I was there, I'd flash my pass and you'd be in the door. So I just used my ingenuity and just went up there. Per favore, signori. My family is inside the museum. My English is very bad. Mia figlio. They're like, just go. You have a ticket? Go. Just let me in. You got to do what you got to do. Gashman says, Bastards. My sister's in the room. Hey, Carrie. I'm still a girl. Are you still a girl? Well, it's your decision. Sean Burke's in the room. Hey, Sean. He's my cousin-in-law. Hey, it is all. I did it. You did it. You did it. Oh, did you hear my impression last night? Hold on to the night. I just realized when I was singing it, I was like, oh, he's probably not that hard to do if I worked on that for a little while. Hold on to the night. The way he places it right here. Hold on to the memory. I don't know the words, but he had a lot of hits. I love the song Hazard from I didn't even explain who I'm talking about. Richard Marx. I see Sean Burke and I just think Richard Marx because he loves him. I love him too. He's got a great song about it's like a story song about this small town. It was a #1 single in the United States, which is amazing because the United States has such crap taste in music. And this story song was probably 20 some odd years ago. Like, met her in a place in a town called Hazard. It was a great song. I met you down by the river. It's a great song. Yeah. Ken Furby says, massive thank you right back at you, David. Hey, V is for Victor 7. Happy Chucky R La Day, man. Chucky R La. I am here, baby. We'll catch the end of Ush later on. What's he talking about tonight? What has he been talking about? I have no idea because I was indisposed today. I didn't, but that is awesome. It's so funny about him. I never really, I got my little pantheon of people who I imitate all the time. I never even thought about because he's so, but then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. He's got this, and he still sounds so super great today. Oh, do Hazard. How funny is that? See, it takes me a while to catch up with that. I don't know the lyrics to that. What are the lyrics to Hazard? I don't have Emmett, and I don't know the chords. I could probably figure it out if I wanted to. Hazard lyrics. My mother came to Hazard when I was just 7. I don't even know the syntax. Even then, the folks in town said with prejudiced eyes, that boy's not right. So it's about a boy who's not well. 30 years ago when he came to know, oh yeah, like they accused him of killing this woman down by the river. B is for victory, says Hazard. You guys are all such a great song, isn't it? I'm not going to do it justice. I don't have the setup, and I don't know it well enough. I know it well enough. If Emmett was here, we'd probably pull it off. Scott E. Love, they call him Scotty Love. You are the doctor of love. Great to see you in the room. Aaron O'Malley, he says, hello, you tards. Has anybody ever watched the show Entourage? I think I mentioned it last night. That show could never be made today because of the language that they use. It's unbelievable. You guys have created a monster over here. Spotted a watch on the train and asked the guy if it was what I thought it was. He went off on a rant like his wife said, no, don't get him going. Dude, I told you it was going to happen. Your other brother, Emmett, is like he's a watch expert now. So I'll tell you a little quick funny story. So the Italian cousins, their son is a aspiring basketball star, pallacanestro in Italy. Italy is crazy for as much as Asheen doesn't want to admit it. They all know who all the big superstars are in Europe. Basketball is very international now, and he's obsessed with basketball, but he's also obsessed with the culture of basketball. Now he went to go see Travis Scott at some stadium. Apparently he's very huge there, and he likes all the weird sneakers and all the music and all of that stuff. But get this, he's 16 years old, and there was a guy in the museum, and he had a Royal Oak on, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I was wearing my Milgauss, so I was like, I can talk to you. I can talk to you. Maybe Audemars Piguet is like, a level up or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares? So I was just about to talk to him, and Pietro's like, Royal Oak, Audemars Piguet. He goes, but I don't like the bust down. He knew the expression for bust down because he probably loves that hip hop culture. And what do they do with all their watches? They throw diamonds and rubies and emeralds and crap all over them. The museum had a hip hop section called Ice Cold, and it was a room filled with hideous. There was a Royal Oak, there was a Day Date, and they were all bust down and gross. None of them were factory. They were hideous. And I was like, please tell me you don't like that. He goes, no, I don't like it the bust down. I like it the factory. Because the kids speak English very, very well. It was nuts. Scotty Love says, who cares? Who cares? Sean Burke says, it's funny now how he's buddies with Paul Stanley. It's true. During the pandemic, I guess they probably live in Bel Air or Beverly Hills or wherever insanely rich rock stars live. And they started doing streams together. And it's a cool little pairing, singer-songwriters. It's very, very cool. I dig it. And he's got a very dirty mouth. I didn't know that. I didn't know Richard Marx was capable of having such a dirty mouth, but he does. Ush covered Thorpe, and Ush got a weird text from the Watch Vault founder with no message. What does that mean? Well, the Watch Vault is Thorpe's, registry, right? I don't know much about it. Easy says, Miss Entourage big time. Never got into Sopranos nor Succession. Massive hits, no time. I got to admit that Entourage is my guilty pleasure. It's a stupid show with about 4 guys that come from Queens, and they mac on a lot of girls. They use very, very dirty language. They're drinking, they're doing blow, they're going to strippers, and they're going to Vegas, and it's just I don't know. I don't know why I enjoy the show so much, but it's really super fun. I really enjoy it. Carolyn Martin says that Ashina's on his way, and there he is.
What are you guys talking about?
I was just talking about this, that, or the other thing. I was in the city. I went to the museum with the Italian cousins, and it was really cute because Pietro's 16 and he's a giant.
Hang on 1 second. I'll turn it on my fan. It's too hot here.
Yeah, I have my fan on too. It's way too hot here too. Hey, Travis Watts. Great to see you in the room. Happy Friday, Dirk and Bashers. Very good. Del Boy's here. Howdy, all. Great to see you. Hey, look at this. Philippe Achilles, Greece. Or she. And here comes the troops. It's funny though. You had like 1,000 people in your room, and we got about.
At the end, I had like 680 at the end.
Yeah, well, we just got 60 of them.
Oh man,
what happened? Does Tim get? What does Tim get when you switch over to him?
I don't know. I just sent some people over the other day. I think it was about 100. something like that.
I was telling the gang, like now that I have like the ability to do shit on YouTube Studio.
No, you got 100. You got more than 100 because you were at 57.
No, I was at 69 a minute ago.
Okay, so it's 168.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 100. That's good. It's growing and it's growing. So I was goofing around in YouTube. I was up all night looking at YouTube Studio and how it works. I was like, this is so exciting to see like what country people are from and what their gender is. So I went to go edit my bash about on the SS United States. And I was like, okay, there's an editor. Very cool. So there was a lot of gack in the beginning and I edited it out. It turns out what I did was I put that back online and I took the rest of the stream down.
Oh shit!
I fixed it. I figured out how to fix it. It was pretty.
Dude, I was doing my thing and I muted it for a second because I wanted to play something that John left me on Instagram voicemails. Oh, and Instagram only lets you leave like 30-second voicemails at a time. So whenever we have these chats, it's all broken into tons of. Anyway, I just wanted to play the first one to make sure he didn't reveal anything because you have to protect his identity heavily. Sure. So I just wanted to so I muted the mic and I was, okay, it's good. So I went ahead and started playing it, but I forgot to unmute them. People were like, we don't hear anything. I'm like, oh shit.
And then you're looking for every other possibility, not that you muted your mic.
Yeah, it's just, while we're talking, I'm going to go in and edit that bit out because it's just, that's embarrassing.
Oh, it's on the stream.
It's on the stream.
I live and learn. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, these are simple mistakes you can make, but it's just fuck. Rookie time.
Well, that's the mistake I made because I had no idea how that editing thing. It's kind of clunky, and I looked at it. And I figured it worked the same as like editing a video on your iPhone because it's got the brackets, and I was like, "Oh, this looks easy."
It's a bit more convoluted. Than
yeah,
that.
It is. Well, now I know. So
I was Philippe Achilles.
Yeah,
is that how Achilles? Like the Achilles heel,
like Achilles' Last Stand. My favorite drum part ever in the history of rock and roll.
He was like. He hit me with a phrase that just set me off. He's like, enough is enough, which is like something I hear like the Thorpes of the world and the Tommy Robinsons of the world say, enough is enough. So I started going off. And then I was thinking like, do they train their pit bull dogs to bark like that? You know?
And what do you think I think of when I hear enough is enough?
I don't know.
I think of Barbra Streisand and Donna Summer's duet.
Because you're an old queen.
Because I'm an old queen. Enough is enough is enough. I can't go on no more. No.
There you go. There's a great anthem for all the EDL guys in
I don't
England.
think so. I think Barbara would say, "Oh no, no, no."
Can I imagine them like going, "Get him out! Enough is enough." Yeah. He starts dancing.
I want him out that door now.
See what I'm
That's a great bridge in that song too. That's got a great bridge. Oh, look at that!
The root beer tonight.
Root beer tonight.
Yeah.
I was telling the gang at we were in the museum of natural history, and there was a room called like deep freeze or cold ice. And I thought because it was hot in the museum, the air conditioning, there was too many people.
Yeah, John will be on for a while. Sorry, go ahead.
And so we went in there, and it turns out it was like hip hop style, and it was all about their diamonds. So the ice meant their diamonds. And yes. Pietro is an aspiring basketball star in Italy. He travels all over the world playing basketball, all over Europe. He went to Malta to play basketball, and he loves Travis Scott and hip hop culture, and he's into all that shit. He went to the stadium in Milan to see Travis Scott. And then there's an AP Royal Oak in the window. And he goes, I don't like that. That one's too bust down. And I went, what? He knew everything. He goes, I prefer Vacheron Constantin. 16-year-old kid, and he's super into watches.
Was the Royal Oak full of diamonds?
It was completely smothered in diamonds. And not beautiful factory diamonds. It was just, hip hoppery. It was just, and then there was a guy in the it was just one of the punchers in the place, and he had a Royal Oak. He's like, oh, he has a Royal Oak. I'm like, hey, he does. I was gonna go talk to him because I was wearing a Milgas. I was like, I can talk to him. I'm wearing a Milgas. I can talk to him, but he just didn't seem all that interested. But it was really cute to see the 16-year-old kid who's super into hip hop culture. Because
You
I
have
don't
that
like what they
feeling
do.
when you go into a watch store that you have to have something decent on your wrist so you can walk in with confidence.
Yes,
Yes.
I do feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean,
You want to know the truth? They are looking at your wrist.
I'm sure that they are.
They do watch. I mean, I'm not saying they'll kick you out if they don't see something decent on the wrist, but they're paying attention.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not going to take you all that seriously if you start inquiring about pieces and you are wearing, you know, a G-Shock. They're not going to really talk to you. I mean, they just probably, but if they see you with another, they probably think you're a prospective customer, like any walk of life. Oh,
Right.
this guy's, you know, he's a big fish. Maybe he'll buy something today. Listen, we like to talk about everything, but those guys are in business. That's why I hate watch dealers.
Well, you
Because-
know, myself and Timmy and John actually were doing this analysis of robberies, watch robberies there a few weeks back. It was actually a really interesting show, and one of the thieves, because a lot of these places have a buzz-in door. You know, you come to their door, you knock on, you ring the bell, and you're there. They can see you,
sure,
and then they buzz you in.
size you up.
One of the guys, size you up right there in the moment, and one of the guys who's really clever. He was pretty well dressed. I'm not going to say exceptionally well dressed, but you know, dressed fairly casual, stylish. Yeah. And he had bags, shopping bags in his hands, like from brands, from, you know, like he had been into Hermes or he had been into Gucci or so. He had those bags, and they're always like, that's a very typical look. You might come to London that day to do a lot of shopping. So, you know, the wife drags you into Hermes or drags you into wherever, Dolce, and then you wind up with all these bags, and you're out shopping, so you're dropping a lot of money, and now you're at the watch store and you want to take a look at watches, so you look very enticing, so they buzz you in.
Of course.
And the minute he was buzzed in, all his mates came after and behind him and bust in the door. It's really clever.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I do watch some of those videos, and they're all they're mostly in the UK. But there was one in Paris where I couldn't believe the way they did it. And it was after the store was closed, and they took a car, which they obviously stole.
Drove it right in.
And then a pack of thugs come flying like cockroaches in there. And like, there's a guy on the street, and he's looking at it. And you know what the guy does? He runs.
Yeah.
Because the guys had guns in their hands.
Yeah.
It's like,
get the fuck out of there.
Man, get out of there right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some scary stuff.
I think I've seen that exact one. It barely damages the car at all. It's just the entire front of the store just caves in.
Caved in. It just absolutely
Wild.
Caved in. Wow. That's really, really crazy. Yeah, I like to watch those things. There was one where this very nice looking older gentleman is the proprietor in some kind of jewelry store, and he's got the double door, and somebody shows up and they look very nice, like you said, and he buzzed the guy in, and they beat the living bejesus out of him. They hit him over the head. The guy is like knocked out on the floor, and these mothers are smashing and grabbing all the stuff, while that guy, they didn't have to do that. Just show the
a lot of them just do it anyway. They just go in, you know, guns blazing. They don't care. They're like, we're not going to take the risk that he's going to maybe comply. We'd rather just beat him to the ground, because why not? Because what difference does it make? Well, that's a quote. Sorry, I just did a quote. When it turned into murder one with guy 1 and 2, then why, they took out guy number 3, because why not? Why leave a living witness?
Oh, yeah. That Pacino?
Yeah.
That's Heat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Heat. I haven't watched that in so long.
Drop of a hat, these guys will rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that feels great. I want to watch it again. I haven't seen it in ages.
Wow. Mike Hammer with $19. As a big movie fans, what actor comes to mind that makes the biggest impact with the least amount of time on screen? 16 minutes or less.
Well, I would say Brando at the end of Apocalypse Now.
Probably.
You don't see him for the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then he comes in at the very end.
Yeah. And what a pain in the hole he was, too.
He's like, you're an errand boy. cents on a, to collect a bill or whatever. Yeah.
I would agree. That's probably it.
The only time you ever hear him, you hear his voice earlier, they play a tape and they're like, I watched a snail crawl across the edge of a razor. It's my dream. It's my nightmare and stuff. And then they stop it and they're like, terminate the colonel's command with extreme prejudice. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Mike Hammer. So we say Brando. And of course, Brando. I mean, why not? You know how long it took me to come around to Brando? Anyway, big gong for you. I don't know.
Honorable mention. I'll do an honorable mention real quick. Okay. Have you ever seen Secrets and Lies?
Oh, sure.
Right. Mike Leigh film.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it a few times on the channel.
Yeah.
The actor's name, I'm going to find him now. The cast. And he's the guy who used to own the camera store. He sold. Hold on, Secrets on Lies. Oh, there's a TV series. Jesus. Okay, movie cast. Here we are. Timothy Spall's character is Morris.
Morris Purley. I can't believe you just said that.
Okay.
I just watched a movie with him the other night, and it was so weird.
Right.
He's lost so much weight. He's unrecognizable.
He's unrecognizable now, but he's really fine. He looks like Nico Leonard or something in Secrets and Lies. Yeah. But there's a guy called Ron Cook. He's a great actor. Let me pull up his face. And he's in there he is there. And he's in Secrets and Lies. He comes along. So you figure out pretty quick that he used to own Morris's camera store, but he moved away to Australia to make bigger money and came back, failed basically. And his wife had left him, and now he's a drunk. And he has less than 10 minutes screen time. And my God, it is one of the most captivating performances I've ever seen. It's amazing. And he's irritable and he's odd and he's like, you made a lot of money out of my business, haven't you, Morris? Now it's my business. Now it's my business. Now it's mine. I sold you this. This place used to be an antique store. And he goes into this whole thing. And how many weddings do you do a year? Oh, how many? I don't know, 40, 50. I used to do 150. What? By yourself? No, you don't do them by yourself. You get them out there. You got to grab the money while you can. But his acting as a broken man, it's, oh God, it's painful. And Morris goes, I'm not just going to allow some tosser to come in and work for it. And he goes, he takes it personally. He goes, I'm not a tosser. He's like, I didn't say you were a tosser. I'm not a tosser.
No tosser.
I didn't say you were a tosser. He's like, I've still got an eye. They can't teach you that. I'm still a photographer. And he's like, of course you are. Of course you are. Oh, man. It's one of the greatest little performances, like, character actor performances I've ever seen. There's another one in the film, is it called Flight with Denzel Washington, where he turns the plane upside down?
Sure, yeah.
When he's in the hospital and he goes out for a smoke in the hallway and a guy comes up from a lower level and he's got his terminal cancer. Do you remember that scene? And he's like, can I borrow a smoke from you? Man, that's amazing acting as well. And he's on screen for like 6 minutes.
Huh.
That guy's question got my head going now.
Yeah, I know. Carlos Ramirez with $9.99. We'll get back to movies because we love to talk about it. Wanted to share some watch news. Got the call from my AD. We love that. I was able to pick up the new pink Tudor chrono. The wife, she's letting me borrow it as well. Hey, Carlos. Fantastic. I love the pink one. Carol,
do you like it?
I love the pink one. I do.
Old Watch Lady got a signed one as well. They're worth like 4 times on the gray.
Is Tudor having their great market
That's
moment?
the only one that's worth anything because they're extremely hard to get. And I think you pay $5 or $6 grand at the store and they're worth 20.
That's
on the gray.
Congratulations, Carlos.
Well done. Yeah.
And for that, we give you, what do we give you for that? We'll give you the second super chat on. And Philippe Achilles from Greece, and he said something nice earlier. I just want to say, just joined Dirk, cool live with my friend Oshin. And then he said, just want to say hey to you because you're new to me too. He said, sorry to repeat. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Then he said, nice to join you, Dirk. I'm new to you. I'm new to you too. And welcome.
You should subscribe.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You'll probably have more fun over here with Dirk than you will with me. I'm heavy. I'm heavy these days.
I don't get that heavy. We talk about, do you have a cat? It'll help. So he's got a $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. Let's give you something fantastic for that. We're going to give you Cuckold Husband. She only lets him out on Friday night. She only lets him out on Friday night. Gong Woman. So bad. Because she's entertaining upstairs or something, you know.
I'm going to make you more of those little things.
Kieran Kelly guitarist, €10, Fridays only. Why not run classic iBashers from WNAD? Who needs a drink? Where Dirk joins 11 p.m. where you can get to keep everybody and nobody has to switch over. Also, those who just commit to Oshin might stay for classics.
The idea is to drive the traffic over to Dirk's show.
Right.
Kieran,
that was the plan.
Yeah,
that was the plan.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Who Needs a Drink would get considerably more entertaining at the end if Dirk came in and joined.
Certainly. Another thing, I had a couple of drinks and I'm done with and you fuck all you fuckers.
But the idea is to draw traffic over to Dirk's show because he does it most nights of the week. And stuff, so.
I do, Kieran, I do Dirk weekdays every day, except for Saturdays and Mondays where we do Watch Fashion Police with Michaela.
Like our new friend there, Philippe, who now discovered iBashers.
Yeah. It helps if you have a cat, if you like watches, if you like to be a nice person. And we don't talk about a lot of heavy shit because there's other places to do that, right? It's that simple. Simple.
And we talk music a lot. Did you see the kids in Vienna because their show got canceled, the Taylor Swift? They all gathered on the streets, all the kids, and singing the songs. It was quite touching. It was really, really nice.
Kieran, since you're never on my show, really, I mean, of course I know who you are. You come on Friday nights. I don't get to do this, so I'll just play a little bit since I know you're a guitar player, we'll play you a little bit of Emmett O'Malley rocking out.
The Gallery of Bashtards, send me the shots, the sublime, the absurd. The Gallery of Bashtards, you share them with me, and I share with the world.
The incredible writing and guitar stylings of Mr. Emmett O'Malley. Your brother's in the room, by the way. Did you know that Aaron is here?
Yeah. I saw him.
Aaron's in the room, and he
made a comment earlier.
He's now wrist flirting. He's checking out dudes' wrists on the fucking train and the transport. I was like, one of these days somebody's gonna punch me in the face.
Yeah, because you're staring at them.
Because you're staring at them. If they've got their wrist down here, you're
the wrist is down by their crotch.
Jesus. Yeah, it'd be like, nice AP.
You can tell who Ray prefers between me and you. He gave me €2. He just gave you 50. It's like that's what I get for being a curmudgeon Irish.
Ray, Dirk, thank you for your beautiful video, amazing vest. My pleasure, darling. My pleasure. I'm glad you enjoyed it. At least I didn't fuck up that one. That one I left alone, but the bash about I decided to present them both on Facebook because I have a couple of thousand, friends on there because I want to attract more views to it, obviously. And then I edited the shit, but the other one, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It was 25 minutes long, and it was really dark and very hot down there. As a matter of fact, towards the end of that, we were like completely out of oxygen, so we had to get the fuck out of there.
I'm invited to see a vessel. There's a nomadic launch for a watch. On the SS Nomadic, the little brother of the Titanic in Northern Ireland. Do you want to give Ray a nice big nuclear explosion?
I'm going to give him a nuclear explosion, but I want to look to see what the SS Nomadic. This is look at that thing. Hold on, I'll pick it up. Let me give you the nuclear mega. yeah, when I was in. Oh, I've never been to Belfast. They have another ship there. Paul would probably know all about the SS
Well, this was
Nomadic.
it was built with the Titanic. It's kind of the little brother of the Titanic.
Sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was the Olympic, the Titanic. There was a bunch of ships that they were making over at Brown. Look at that. Oh, this is very cool. Oh, so when is that going to happen for you? Thank you, Ray, darling, baby, sweet.
It's late September. I think they might. I think they're flying me over. I've promoted their brand a lot, and I always stand by Peter. He's one of the sweetest guys in the watch world that I've ever met. And although I haven't met him in person, but and he makes solid watches, and he's doing really well. So good for him. So they're launching a GMT, their first GMT. So it's going to be an
how
event.
great!
And it's on the ship. The event is on the ship,
That's
and
so
I'll
great.
get a tour of the ship. And it's
Oh,
not
nice.
like an abandoned mess, like poor old SS United States.
Yeah, because it probably was,
been
and they
maintained.
probably fixed it.
I think it's been a kind of point of pride of the Northern Irish, of the Belfast ship makers for a long time. So I think it's been kept kind of well the whole time.
What does
I
that
don't
say
think it
about
went-
the Americans?
Oh, because they left it behind. No, this thing is kind of it's a proud. There's a lot of pride, even though I know the Titanic went down, but it was built in Belfast.
It was built at John Brown. Yeah.
And it's and those big cranes, the yellow cranes there with H and R or whatever it's called on there. They're famous cranes, and that's why the seconds hand on the Nomadic is a yellow seconds hand to represent those cranes.
Oh, okay.
They're enormous, they lift the ships up and stuff like that. So the Nomadic is kind of it's a gem for them. So I don't think it ever spent any time neglected. I don't believe.
I'm just doing a quick read through her right now. She was privately owned for a little while. And then they created the Nomadic Charitable Trust in 2006 to oversee her conservation and restoration.
Oh, there you go. You're right.
Well, obviously, the problem with the SS United States was that she got
She got raped.
Well, she practically didn't, and it was kind of necessary because her whole innards were asbestos. It was the miracle mineral of the 1950s. All the
Harland and Wolff. Thank you, panel.
Harland and Wolff, yeah.
Harland and Wolff.
Harland and Wolff, yeah.
H and W. That's right.
Oh, John Brown is Liverpool, right? I goofed that up. The shippies will be furious with me. Yeah, John Brown, Harland and Wolff, of course. John Brown is the shipyard in.
Oh, it's a big point of pride with the Belfast people,
As it should be.
Yeah.
It should. John Brown Limited. That was John Brown and Company. Oh no, that's Scottish John Brown. Sorry, I'm really fucking up today. I saw The Last Ship, the musical that Sting did, because he grew up in a ship next to a shipyard, and we got the tickets from Paul's Aunt Gloria. We went to go see it, and he wasn't in it, but it was not doing very well. So we went there the last night. It turns out the show we got was the closing night because it was a failed musical, and he did the show.
Wow.
And it was terrific, and it was a really good show. It was about all these people that live in like he's Northern English. And he grew up right next to a shipyard, and everybody worked in the shipyard. Your life was a shipyard, your grandfather's life, your father's
That's
life,
right.
your children's life.
Sure.
And he just got the fuck out of there and became the poshest twat in history.
Oh, really?
I mean, is there anybody more of a posh twat than Sting?
I know he's kind of annoyingly so.
It's just so annoying. Do I have my loot? Where's my loot? Oh, it's not available right now.
You need a loot.
Be like, I see green sleeves.
Yeah, I'm trimming out the silence on this
Oh, okay.
thing. I think it's working.
Glenn Parker's going to send me some cat pictures. Do it, baby. Send me your shots, the sublime, the absurd. What is this? Did you send me this? Okay. No, we don't really do the Gallery of Bashtards on Friday because, we just bullshit. Aaron says, on my flight home, it was full of Swifties. Where was Aaron? Was he visiting your man?
He was in Dublin.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, with the little one.
Oh, great.
Yeah, fantastic, right?
They were singing on the flights. My flight home was full of Swifties. What a ridiculous thing that's. And what was the impetus for this particular form of terrorism threat? Did they have a message?
I don't know.
Like somebody claimed it. Well, they busted them, right? They Interpol.
Oh yeah, they're busted.
Yeah, they go, and it was explosives. They were going to go there and do some serious damage, right?
The counterterrorism division in Europe is in Frankfurt, in Germany, and there was a movie, excellent movie, one of the final movies that Philip Seymour Hoffman made called A Most Wanted Man. And if you want to see the level, because a lot of terrorists coming in from like Dagestan, which is a heavy terrorist garden orchard for terrorism, especially extreme Islam, come from all those areas, and they come into Frankfurt first, and they head out from there. And yeah, they're pretty diligent. They know their stuff. They have a lot of intelligence. They're watching all these guys, waiting for them to make a wrong move, and then they move in on them. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that the Viennese were monitoring and found this guy before he did his terrible thing.
What a horrible thing.
I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, I don't want to get.
I can't imagine. No. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Taylor. I mean, she'd stop her entire. It would kill the tour.
I mean, I can't believe that the tour isn't closed down now, because I would be afraid that somebody else would show up at the next stop or the next stop. Why would
it shouldn't stop her. It shouldn't stop her. She's got to move on. People have to move on and not be intimidated. But if it happened, it would. I mean, that would have ended the era's tour, and then it would be remembered for that and not for the cultural phenomenon that it's been.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And all those great songs. Anyway, Angelo Minichello with Canadian $10. I told you the story about him, right? Customs cleared, duties paid, the cheesy should finally be here.
Yeah.
He is, for anybody who's from Mush's channel or whatever, he didn't know the story. Angelo is a big time watch collector, and he chooses some very interesting pieces. Well, this time he had a watch coming, and it got to customs and they wouldn't release it. And
because they thought it was cheese.
Because they thought it was cheese. Because
it said Parmigiani.
And they're like, why are you sending us pictures
thought it was
of a
Parmigiano Reggiano.
That's what they thought it was.
Hey, listen, I understand the mistake. Can you imagine all the packages coming through and they see Parmigiani and they go, oh, it's cheese. Like, because they probably see lots of Parmigiano.
I'm sure that they do. And you're not allowed to import cheese into Canada. I don't know how Davide and Stefania came here with blocks and blocks and blocks.
They didn't say a word. They left it in their bag.
I mean,
don't get them in trouble.
No. I didn't say last name. I mean, I've got blocks in my fridge now that would cost hundreds of dollars in the United States. It's their 36 month. It's unbelievable. And he gave me a little lesson on cheese. It's because in America, I've obviously Parmigiano Reggiano and the Grana Padano. He's Contadina Contadino de Latte for this particular cheese. I didn't know that Locatelli, which is a very famous brand in America for Italian imported Pecorino Romano, is not famous in Italy. And it turns out it's not even Italian, it's French. Like Galbani. Brand you see in Italian stores, Galbani, is a French company selling Italian cheese in Italy.
It's like Häagen-Dazs pretending to be Dutch or something.
Right.
It's actually a dude from Brooklyn.
He was a Jewish guy from Brooklyn named Reuben Mattis.
And he just wanted something that sounded exotic and European.
Isn't that nuts?
Häagen-Dazs. I love Häagen-Dazs. I actually really like Häagen-Dazs ice cream.
Häagen-Dazs is the only packaged ice cream that, if you look at the ingredients, it says milk, cream, sugar, and strawberry, whatever your flavor is. It doesn't have any of the gunk that you get. Ben and Jerry's, it says agar, vanillin, all these different kind of emulsifiers and thickeners and all this shite that goes in there. Häagen-Dazs has nothing in it. It's just ice cream.
I'm just loving the root beer and the in the video.
Yeah, it's looking pretty sexy. Angela, we're gonna give you a little bang for that. Let's give you some cowbell. You deserve it. Uh-oh, Ray's back with more money. Ray, where's Nathaniel Hannon at? Sent a photo of a yacht. Will she do, Dirk? You send a photo of a yacht? I don't know.
Yeah, Nathaniel was sailing around Greece.
Yeah, he sent me a whole bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
Here's what Ray sent me. Is this something you were working on there, kiddo pie? Atalanta. Oh, interesting. Is that a yacht technically?
Yeah.
What makes a yacht a yacht?
That's a good question. Yeah, because a Riva's not a yacht because there's no sail, right?
No.
But a yacht, lots of yachts don't have sails. I don't know what it is.
I mean, a Riva is like, isn't that more like a cigarette boat? A Riva is a sexy little minx, you know?
Yeah. And that's the perfect boat to have here. But they start at about $100,000. I've already investigated.
What about an
they're
old
beautiful.
one?
They're made of gorgeous wood, and
they're like teak and beautiful.
Yeah,
they're
the sexiest thing to have to go around Venice on the canals. If you have a Riva, you're the shit, you know.
Yeah, that movie I told you about the other day, Ava, which is about some Venetian prostitute. It's from the 60s. The actor has a Riva, and everywhere they go, they jump in their Riva, and it's just jewels and, you know, tuxedos and a Riva. You know, and they go to the casino.
Yeah, the Riva has the fridge for your champagne.
Of course it does.
And an ashtray for your, you know, like that, and it's all wooden back on it. I don't think you can. I mean, you could get on the back and do a little bit of sun tanning, but that's not really. It's a little too high class for that.
Yeah, it's not for that.
I think a nice boat with a back where you can lie down and do a little bit of, you know, stretch out in the sun would be nice. You know,
right? Nathaniel is here. $4.99 American. Just finished mowing the grass. I have kind of a big yard. Well, you braggart, you.
It can take a long time, yeah.
Let's give him some other cowbells. The other cow. So Scotty Love says anything over 40 feet. Is that correct, boys and girls?
Wow, is that what qualifies it as a yacht? I didn't know that. Wow.
We do have computers in front of us, and
Makes
we can
sense.
find out. Carolyn Martin wants to know if a Chris Craft gets no, it doesn't, because that's where you take your kids to that little remote island for your little holiday. Chris Crafts are cute though; they're very American.
Did you get this one, Andrew?
I didn't see that. Where is that?
159 in the room. Take a moment to inspiration of others' lives. iBashers blessing. Upvote, guys. Upvote.
Please do. Thank you, Andrew, darling. And for that, I'm just going to give you a little bit of this because I like to use it, but I won't play the whole thing. But because that's the scariest thing in the whole wide world. That video is I look at that with deep angst. I just go, oh God.
That's from that new show Fallout.
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yeah, that's it. Like they're at a birthday party or something for kids, and the next thing they just see bright lights happening, and this like multiple nuclear explosions happening. It's, you know, when World War III happens or when that kind of shit happens, we won't have any warning. It will just start seeing it all happen outside our window, you know. And that's when you break open your best bottle of wine and play your favorite record and put on your favorite watch.
What song are you playing?
I'll play a classical, old Mozart. I'll play something from the Requiem or something from classical music, yeah. Or maybe the Rachmaninoff. They're very long. Maybe I don't have time.
Yeah.
Or maybe the second movement from the Rach 2. Second movement from the Rach 2. That's I'll go out happily with that.
I might have to, if I was to go classical, I'd probably have to go with Albinoni's Adagio.
Oh, sure.
So that's like, see ya.
Yeah.
It's such a somber affair. Mr. G is in the room. New here. Well, welcome, Mr. G, with a $1.99 beauty show. Great show, and love the root beer.
Yeah, man.
Look at that. Show it off, bitch. Show off that root beer. Look at that. Yeah, it's glittering in the beautiful sunshine. It's a great looking watch. You know, it's funny about the root beer. Like I prefer the GMTs. Like I prefer the 1675s. I like the old anodized aluminum bezels on all the watches, but the root beer. I think the root beer that really suits it much better with the ceramic bezel. It's beautiful. Thank you for that. Let's give you. Where's my triangles? Triangles. There's so many in here now. I have a hard time finding. Thank you, kind sir. There was another one. Did I miss it?
I like that Shag Daddy rocks. If Christopher Cross is playing, it's a yacht.
Oh
Yacht
my
rock.
God, that's so great. Sailing takes me away to where I'm going. Anybody, any of you nautical? Ray, did you say what yacht is? You're the guy. You're our resident mariner, right? We're all awaiting with bated breath, kind sir.
Panel pair going out with a Brunella di Montalcino and an H. Upman number 1. Ooh.
Is that crazy shit?
Yeah,
I know what the wine is.
H.
but I don't
Upman
know
are
what this
great.
is.
Yeah. H. Upman is high level.
Why don't you
yeah.
talk to the gang and I'll go get my white wine so I can start spritzing.
Okay, great.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll go through the chat. Aaron, close to the edge. From the Keys solo. Oh, that whole, second half. Yeah, I can hear that for sure. Nice. That's the theme of the end of the world, says John. The M83 outro. Beethoven's Ninth. Jim Patterson. Ode to Joy, right? A much maligned piece, I have to say, in the classical world. I know a lot of conductors and players. And they find it to be a little bit, I don't know. I like Ode to Joy. It's very nice, very powerful. He couldn't hear it when he wrote it. Daniel, did you see the photo I sent you, Daniel? Where on Instagram? I'll go look for it in a second. Sorry, I'm home the showdown. Anything from Wakeman. Yeah. Any Baroque music for Eazy-E. Wow. Or Baroque, as the Americans say. So any Bach? Hey, you could play the Matthew Passion from the Timeless Watch song. He was Baroque, right? It was 1550, 1650. He was born in 1575, I think, just in the center of the Baroque world. Oh, TTWC email. Okay, I'll check it now, Daniel. Cool. Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, Rufus. You must have liked my the video I did on Zero West, the H1 Hurricane. I called it like the coolest watch released this year or something, but it's the H1. You can find it in the search Zero West H1 because I used a lot of the Rite of Spring during the dog fights. That's a good one. Probably the most appropriate, unfortunately, the Rite of Spring. Yeah, well, it will probably describe the mayhem. Yeah, once it picks up, sure. This is interesting. Dilboy wants the Nobu Umatsu FF 7th Overture. Adagio for Strings, Omega Fanboy. This is interesting. The last piece of music you want to hear as the fallout begins. It would be a tough thing. I think our nature would be to survive. Fill the bath with water. Turn on the open cold water. Fill the bath because you'll need water. Unless you're one of those American bunker nuts who has all the supplies ready in a bunker. The smartest thing if you want to start surviving. I don't know if I'd give a shit. I'd be like, fuck it anyway. World's a mess. I'm going out with a bang. Finish all the booze. Kieran Kelly guitars, €5. I'm working for all your lives, but I catch every show on repeat. Still and always your fanboy. Love the Emmett Gong. What a legend. Thanks, brother. I'll give you a... Where did he put all his gongs? I'll give you a gong here. I'll give you an interesting one he doesn't use very much. There's that weird woman. Oh, there she is. Gong woman.
Thank you, Kieran.
Nice. The Final Countdown by Europe.
That's a really bad song, but actually, they had a record after that I thought was incredible.
Oh, Carl Orff, Carmina Burana, Panel Power. That's a good one.
Guess what I'm drinking? I just decided, I made a last minute decision, and I just was like, you know what? I haven't had in a really long time, and I had one 2 weeks ago. I was like, I went back to Aperol. I said, you know, I made it really light, and it's so refreshing. It's really very refreshing. I was like,
nice.
It's
John, the world today is barely tolerable. Who the hell wants to live in a post-nuclear war world? No, you're right. What's the point?
What's the point? There's no. Where's the joy? Just survival, if that's even possible.
Hey, look, Gustav Holst Saturn. Did you see my Saturn video, Alpha Foxtrot? You'll love it. I have a Saturn video about the moon swatch Saturn, and it's all Gustav Holst.
Yeah, I love Holst.
You might like it.
Which one? Oh God,
it's one of my favorite videos I ever made.
That's one of Paul's favorite albums of all time. Holst the Planets. He loves it.
Well, yeah, Mars, which is basically Star Wars.
Yeah, he stole it. That's true. It's okay.
I used Mars in the Zero West Dam Busters video.
You did, yeah. I'm gonna finish my master cigarette. The good ones borrow, the great ones steal.
Yeah, Don Williams totally ripped that off.
He did.
But that's okay. Andrew Walkovich, nuke gets dropped. Oshin walks into the street with a bottle of Face the Flash and light a cigar
off the
heat blast. Oh, I like that.
That would be a great moment in a video, like if you were to make a video of some kind. I mean, obviously, it would work for like that. Shit. Shag Daddy says, trying to outlast the cockroaches. Oh, my mouse is not working.
Thanks. Yeah,
no, thanks. I don't want to do that either. It's bad enough. They'll survive, them and Cher. The only thing that will be left is cockroaches and Cher. That's it, because, you know, she puts out a hit record every 20, 30 years. Till the end of the world. That's a great song. It doesn't get much love that in their incredible catalog, but that I love that. That great riff on that song. Are you guys talking about Asia, like the band, like the heat of the moment? Are you guys talking
that
about
would make me want the world to end. I don't know. I've never been.
I mean, you look at who was in that band and you go, how did that happen?
Yeah.
How did they make such pussy rock? It was just so bad. I don't mean that in a feminine way. I mean, it's just like, it's the wimpiest wet noodle of music. It's just, they had John Wetton and Steve Howe and Carl Palmer. I mean, it was a who's who of Prague. Yeah, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Yes, and King Crimson, or was he in King Crimson? Wetton, he was, right?
Carl Palmer?
No, John Wetton.
John Wetton, yeah, he was bass and vocals. That was my favorite King Crimson.
Oh yeah. That's the Discipline-y era?
No, way earlier.
Oh, way earlier than that.
No, Discipline was all Adrian Belew and all that.
Was all Adrian Belew.
Tony Levin.
Elephant Talk.
No, I'm talking about Red and
oh yeah,
everything before that. 21st Century Schizoid Man.
Schizoid Man, yeah. I guess that's their most famous song, right?
Red is one of my favorite albums of all time. Starless is maybe one of my favorite pieces of music ever written. I'll be back in a second.
Go ahead.
There's a guitar solo that's basically around revolving around one note. It's so Fripp. I'm turned off Fripp now because he fucking shot me down for that video that time.
That's because of his cuckoo wife. Your brother says George Lucas used Mars as a placeholder for Star Wars while Williams was putting the composition together. Well, there you have
there
it.
you go. I didn't know that. Now that explains it.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is that Star Wars was a total rip-off of the original Dam Busters movie. If you watch the 1955 movie, there are so many scenes that are identical, so many things that are identical. It's definitely based on the same, especially the final scenes when they're trying to blow up the Death Star. So then, of course, there was the John Williams music. So when I was making the thing on on the Dam Busters, I was like, I'm going to use the original. Seeing as this is the original Star Wars, I'm going to use the original music that John Williams is based on.
Wow.
You know, yeah, worked out well. As long as I didn't mention the name of the dog, everything was going to go well.
Watch as Brian says that Asia was screw it. We didn't make any money making the music that we make. Well, I mean, yes, certainly did, but like I don't think King Crimson really made much money. But certainly Emerson, Lake and Palmer did, right? They had some big hits. But yeah, I mean, listen, those guys all wanted a piece of the AO, the big pie, and you know, they're oftentimes you'll find like the most proficient musicians and singers are the ones that don't do that well commercially. You know, you get the people that are, you know, like, yeah, I mean, the biggest, like especially in the 80s, all the worst bands were the most popular, like Motley Crue and Rat and Poison. All that stuff was really big, and there were great bands out there that were great musicians and great singers, and they weren't getting anywhere. I mean, that's just kind of how it always works, and that's really sad. Panel Power says, still waiting for, well, welcome back, Panel Power. You started here last week, and it's great to see you back on the stream. Still waiting for the mission to Jupiter, Vidasheen. You know, the thing is, and you know, and I can't speak for him, but he'll probably hear me say this. He was excited to do a whole, you know, he was ramped and amped and ready to do a series for all of the planets, because not only does he love watches, but he's a big time, astrophysics guy, and he loves, you know, space and all that stuff. And he was amped to do it, and it's just the audience wasn't there, you know. So he decided to join Asia. Or Motley Crue, or one of those bands, right? I mean, something stupid like that. I mean, I don't know what to say. At that point, it just gets I thought that Saturn video was one of the most miraculous things. It was so beautiful. I guess there just wasn't enough of a shebang for it. Easy E said he saw ELP live in New York City as a kid, and the drummer chucked me his sticks. The drummer would be Carl Palmer, the P in Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And he's the only one that's left. He's the only one alive. And he's like a strong, built like a brick shithouse kind of fella. Premier Aaron, you still in the room? Do you like Carl Palmer? Remember, he was a premier player back in the day. I think he probably plays DW like every other loser does. I hate the way those drums sound. When Neil Peart started playing that, I just got really bored with it. That brand is just like, I love a drummer who's got an old pair of Rogers or Slingerland set. I just love that, tuned beautifully. Carl Palmer is one of the greatest drummers ever, rock drummers ever. I mean, big kit. Poor Keith Emerson killed himself.
Speaking of placeholders, so in 2001 Space Odyssey, those pieces of music that wound up being used were placeholders.
Sure.
You know, while he was putting the film together, and he just fell in love with the placeholders, which was like the Blue Danube and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Top that? You know, somebody, what are you going to do? I mean, that's, you know, it's like when people fall in love with their demos and then they realize that they can never top them. I would imagine
you're building the movie around the music.
Sure.
So it's hard to put other music in that place. And obviously also Sprach Zarathustra, right? The first one. Mm-hmm. How the hell are you going to, what are you going to come up with that's going to replace that?
aren't. And I mean,
Richard Strauss.
you obviously make films, short films.
Yeah, if I
mini
replaced the
doc-
music in my little short films, it wouldn't work. I base the whole thing a bit around the music. Music
Well,
is
you
the
know
only
what?
thing that keeps me sane while I'm trying to put the fucking thing together.
I guess if you want to monetize from now on, you could just go to that AI. I'll send you the link to that AI thing I used.
Yeah.
You could basically tell what key you want it to be reminiscent of X. You can do that, and it won't sound like it, but it'll be evocative enough.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, and I'm not a big fan of all the crazy technology going around, but that's very useful, especially if you put
Sure.
like he makes these videos with this music in it, and there's so much editing and so much time, and he can't monetize it because he gets dinged for I'm watch will get dinged because I went heat of the moment. I guarantee you Asia ding people for YouTube. I guarantee you, because that's a horror band. That was a band that were out there just to whore around, right? Why else would it? That's what I told you right as you left. Watch It's Brian said. Asia said, "Screw it. We didn't make any money making music. Let's make this band and get some album sales," which is probably what they were doing.
It's probably exactly what they did. Yeah.
A band like Rush didn't do that. They didn't even really have side projects until much later, and those guys just never gave a shit about making hits. They just didn't. Hits came to them eventually. Isn't that interesting? How the hits and the hits did come to them. You can be a progressive, musical band with incredible musicians in the band, which I can't think of another band that had that caliber where all three of them were as good as each other.
Yeah.
I mean, for every Steve Howe, you had a Tony K. No offense to Tony K, because I like him, but for every Carl Palmer, you had a Greg Lake. You know what I mean? There's always strengths and pluses and minuses. That band, for some reason, they people came around to Tom Sawyer. That's not a very commercial song. What the fuck is that about?
No, they never had a hit.
Oh, they did in America. Oh my God, Tom Sawyer and Limelight were top 10 hits.
Really?
Dude, Rush. I'll never forget when that happened because I'm an old timey Rush fan. I bought 2112 when it came out. Actually, Spirit of a Radio was their first hit. That was on the radio constantly, and I remember thinking, how they had just come off of an album like Hemispheres, which is.
Emma makes a good point. Or I could compose, produce, record, perform a soundtrack myself, but then I would be releasing a video every 5 years. Exactly.
Yeah,
Take forever.
True. Yeah.
I have to just grab the good music, and hey, the clicks aren't exactly. It's not like I'm getting 1 million clicks for every video.
I mean, I was telling them when you went to go do your thing, I was like, somebody said that they're waiting for you to do Jupiter, and I was like, you were all ready to do all of them. You were ready to do it. You were so psyched about it.
The views were so bad.
Yeah, the views were bad. People
the
just
views
didn't
were
bite.
so horrifically low for the Moon Swatch videos, and Neptune is really nice. I'm very proud of it, and Saturn is one of my best videos I ever made.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, it's a shame, but that's
it's not all about the views, but hey, Nick Hayek liked Saturn, so
Oisin's A&R guy came to him and said, "Listen, Oisin, we need more hits, man. Sorry."
You need to make more real versus fake videos.
Travis Watts is saying, I don't see the easy chats in the live chat. Strange. Meanwhile, we're pulling them up and we're talking. I don't know.
Man.
It's weird. Who knew?
Watermelon tequila. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to cool off. It's hot.
Your brother says, I love Carl Palmer with ELP, but he was not so good with Asia. Well, it wasn't much for him to do. Aaron says Ado has a Palmer snare. You mean like a Premier snare or Palmer? I don't know what Palmer is. I was saying how Carl Palmer played Premier drums. And I'm not going to go off on drum tech because I'll bore the shit.
Why not? The whole
everybody.
audience are here to hear extreme niche shit about gear, musical gear.
Look how red my head got. It's so true. My favorite Peart kit was the Chrome. Of course it was, because it was Slingerland. It's like, and you know who had a Slinger? My old drummer Mark, when he came in, he had a double kick Premier kit, and I said, "Are you a big Neil Peart fan?" He goes, "Oh yes."
John says, I'm seriously considering Omega, given a lot of Rolex fan base. Yeah, man. Which Omega, though?
Did you see Daniel Craig's new watch?
Yeah, well, it's
unknown
basically,
Seamaster?
it's the blue.
Yeah.
It's the blue Bond one, but in black.
Yes.
So he gets all the watches first, right?
Apparently.
I got a Z-Loss watch in the mail today. They want to pay me a lot of money. I was shocked.
Uh-oh.
And they sent me the watch. Man, it's awful.
Oh no.
And I looked it up on the site, and it's not released yet. So they even sent me a watch that hasn't even been released. And I'm just like, first of all, it's way too small for me. And it's like weird. I'm like, oh God. I'm gonna have to, it's probably really well made and stuff. It's titanium, and titanium always feels flimsy in my hand.
Feels flimsy, yeah. It just does. I don't know. I think Omega really needs to just take a step back and stop releasing the same watch in a different color. Stop doing that. It's just getting.
John just said he's looking at a Speedy.
Yeah, get it. Yeah,
Get the classic Speedy.
Get a real Speedy. Get that new 3861 or buy a vintage one.
Mm-hmm.
Try to find one of like Sheen's beautiful 861s. Those are gorgeous. God.
Yeah.
The 808s. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Speedmaster, But I will say, can I tell you that when I was in the museum today and there was a guy, we were in I was in front of a giant alligator, and this guy just turned sideways, and I just went, "Oh shit." Because I saw the glint of the AP bracelet, because there is no other bracelet that does that the way that does. There isn't.
Right.
And I just went like this. I just turned around and went, "Oh shit!" Like figuring how I'm gonna approach, because I want to start talking about watches, because whatever. And he was a little bit of a he didn't seem interested at all. But then he turned around and it was absolutely gorgeous, and it had the patisserie, and it looked kind of golden. So I don't know what particular, because I'm not that familiar with those watches. What do they have? It didn't look like a gold watch. Do they have one with the
gold dial? He had one of the gold fume dials.
That's
what
he had.
Black around the edge.
Yeah, that was it.
Gold fume.
Yeah,
he's clearly a big guy, and they don't exactly hand those out on every street corner.
No, I bet that they don't. $9.99 from JHB in the room. Dirk, did you work with Anthrax? I did. Oshin, your video from Lollapalooza came up on my feed. I watch that every once in a while. You seem to be editing back then, yeah. I told the guys
I didn't edit that video, but
you were in it.
I kind of put it. I did what do they call it? The storyboard. It was a bit cheesy looking back, but whatever. It was fun. It got all the guys into suits, like Men in Black suits, and driving an old vintage car around Long Island City. Yeah, and because
I see him all the time, by the way, Mike.
Yeah, the Lollapalooza clip. I know the one he's talking is me at Lollapalooza talking about the video.
Yep.
The Speaking of Evil. So it got everybody kind of into characters. It gave us at least some structure to the video. The lads are running around the LIC chasing Colin and the model.
What people won't know is that Emmett O'Malley is wearing Jill Sander and Adrian Mordaunt is wearing Gucci, because they had just done a Valentino show for Bergdorf Goodman, which is a big classy store in New York. And I guess it was Matt. Somebody went to Bergdorf and said, "Hey, the band's doing a music video. Can we borrow some suits?" So they lent them the suits, but they got ruined during the video shoot.
Yeah, the lads were running around like they were all sore the next day because it was a lot of running, a lot of takes, and they had to run all around. Yeah, so it was a lot. Do you want to give this guy a gong?
Yes, I do indeed. Yeah.
Hey, look, and it says, speaking of YouTube monetization, song Colin and I did last year is 24 million spins. Send us the link. I mean, we won't play it here.
What?
On YouTube as part of a reality show.
million.
It's part of a reality show in the UK, but we don't own the masters, so yeah, it all goes to the show.
So
What
were
show
you
is
just
it?
a work for hire? Yeah, send us that link. Can you put the link in the chats? I love that shot of you and your beautiful. Is that your new girlfriend? Because she's sexy. That shot is pretty good, man.
24 million. So it must be
24 million.
some reality show. Yeah, clips from some reality show. Crazy.
See, I went a little heavy on the app roll on that, and that is not good. You got to be like lighter than a.
It's too
Yeah.
orangey and sweet. Ugh.
But I put so
Sticky.
little in the first one, and it was very good.
Mr. G, what happened to Adrian Barker? Yeah, I think he just put out a video the other day.
Did he?
I think so.
Daniel says, "Who cares? Who cares is right." I don't see Travis in my chat either. More YouTube chat. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know what to. Oh, John's talking about getting the Seamaster 300M.
Yeah,
What does-
dude.
Yeah.
Get the old one. Get the 90s or 2000s one.
Yeah.
That's the slimmer, cooler one. The new ones are too bulky.
Yeah,
They don't
I
have.
agree.
They're nice, but they're not. They don't have the finesse of the older ones.
100% agreement.
I'll send you some links, John.
Yeah, you definitely should. No, you can't. Don't do it. Just wondering, you can't
Go
go
swimming
No.
and speedy. Absolutely not.
Nope.
No.
Nope. That's what will make you move to Rolex. I mean, you can certainly get a Seamaster.
You can get
but
a
Speedy,
Seamaster.
no fucking way. No,
Yeah, Seamaster will do it all.
all of it.
Seamaster is amazing. It's every bit as good as a sub, easily. But no, not a speedy.
Stay away. You can't even take.
Speedies for going up in the air, up into space, not for going down below.
Yeah. It's just- I mean, if Reynolds was listening, he would know that we've said a million times. Just couldn't you do us a favor and just make come out with the Speedy.
They don't want to wander from it. That would be like making a chronograph Submariner. It wouldn't make sense. They don't want to wander away from the ethos of the Speedy. The idea is you have yourself a subby and a Speedy.
Yeah, I guess.
And they're the two. That's like having a Fender Strat and a Les Paul. You've got your whole world covered, or a Telly, or whatever. You know, you've got both things.
Let me ask you a question though. Does Rolex make one single watch that's not waterproof?
I mean, back in the day, maybe, but no. I mean, because the Oyster case. I mean, all Rolexes have Oyster Perpetual written on some sort of Oyster Perpetual written on the dial. So it's perpetual because it has the rotor. So as long as you keep your arm moving, it will keep running. So it's perpetual. And Oyster because it has that clam design.
Sure. Or just lean into my Russian roots and wear a blanc pain like Putin. You could do that. Why not?
Yeah, John is originally Russian.
Yeah. Which is amazing because he doesn't sound it.
He doesn't. He has such a command over the English language. It's kind of funny, isn't it? But his original tongue, his mother tongue, is Russian. It's crazy. So he goes into interrogation rooms and he has Russians there, and he doesn't reveal for ages that he actually speaks Russian. So he'll go at them in English, and then they might say something in Russian under their breath, and he knows what they're saying because they never imagine that he can speak their Parla Ruski.
Unbelievable. 501C says, Anthrax, I'm the man, their worst song. Dude, can I just be honest with you? Like, you know, the 6 or 7 or 8 months that I was in that group, I was 14 or 15 years old. I never followed that band. I have no idea what any of their songs are. It's not my cup of tea. I never paid any attention at all.
It wasn't
And
6,
then-
7 months. It was 6, 7 weeks. Wasn't it?
What?
You were...
No, in Anthrax?
Mm-hmm.
No, I was in them for like, you know, most of 1983.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
it was
I thought it was just a few weeks.
No. It was like,
I'm sorry.
it was like the summer and the winter of that year and whatever. No, it was very short period of time, but they were nothing. They were a cover band. We were playing Judas Priest and Iron Maiden covers. Scotty Love, the beloved Scotty Love, got Scott from Anthrax drunk at my bar. Yeah, that's the problem. He's a big Yankee fan. He's from Queens, which is complete bullshit. And that night he got arrested for breaking into Yankee Stadium. Oh, a minor. Oh, I heard about that. It's in his book.
Isn't one of those guys a watchmaker now?
The other guitar player, guy that I don't know, came later on, is a master watchmaker. Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody in that band is up there. So I meant to tell you this earlier because I mentioned it on my show. So talk about crazy people. I know that you've been going through some drama too. And so Jimmy, my partner in crime and hitman, years and years and years ago, when we first started, we had a guitar player named Don, and Don got let go for whatever reason. I don't remember, but I suggested this guy from Anthrax, and I'm not going to say his name because he's crazy. And I called up Scott Rosenfeld, Scott Ian, and I said, hey, what's the name of the guy? What's the number for that guy that you guys used to have? So he gave me the number. He said, whatever you do, don't hire that guy. He's crazy and he plays like shit. You won't like this guy. So he was in the band for a year. We did a couple of things with him, some live shows, some stuff that was on TV and whatever. And then I haven't spoken to that guy in 30 some odd years. He sent a crazy ass rant to Jimmy from my band Hitman about, listen, you motherfucker, you ugly old fuck. You guys are the most talentless, evil people. And then he goes, you got screwed over by that big blank N-word at Big Boy Records. This guy's crazy. And then I looked him up. He's all over the internet talking about Metallica and Anthrax and how everybody ripped him off. Obviously, they let him out of the asylum. And then he went after Jim Bakke, which was nuts. He can't come after me because I had to block him because he said I was a Nazi and he said I was a drunk and that I used to.
Last thing you are is a drunk.
I know.
Or a Nazi.
I'm the worst drinker in the world. I'm like I'm the cheapest date in town, kids.
Someday I'll get a whiskey into you. I want to see what happens.
I've tried.
I'll make sure there's padding all around.
Do you know how bad I would listen? Because I love the art of whiskey and I appreciate the history, and I think it's the most elegant of elixirs. It is. It's so elegant. I just think it tastes like a nasty Band-Aid, man. I just wish I liked it.
I actually saw a Trump quote the other day, a clip of Trump the other day that I liked. I actually liked it. He was talking about that he never drank, and he was kind of self-demeaning, which is very on him, and it was quite charming.
Yeah,
he should try that a little more because he was like, I never drink. He was like, look at me. Can you imagine me on alcohol? I'd be unbearable. And I was like, that a boy. There you go. A little bit of like humility, nice, Listen, it was kind of funny and charming, and that's rare with that dude for me. So he's always talking himself up. Talk yourself down and let other people talk you up is more charming. But
it's always more charming when somebody else gives you a compliment.
Well, he made a good point. Like, can you imagine the way he mouths off? Like on a few drinks, he would get out of control. He was right. Like,
yeah, people see the Donald that we all know now, the ex-president of the United States, perhaps even the future president, but I doubt it. Like, growing up in Queens where I was and knowing his mom, and I went to a service where he gave the eulogy. It was fucking hilarious and it was poignant, and he was self-deprecating back in the day and all that stuff. Now, people have to realize that his father, his mother, his sister, his brother, all drunks.
Yeah, and he avoided it. Good for him. Yeah.
So good for him. I don't give him much credit for a lot of stuff. However,
he would have never done anything if he was on the bottle. Ever.
Never. No. Because his
mind you, his father did a lot on the bottle, but
his father did a lot. His father did a lot of destruction on the bottle. His father is one of the people that's responsible for the demolition of so many historic buildings in New York City, to rip them down to put up shite, like council flats and those kind of things. And people don't realize that around and I've tried to make this point before, but I don't know if I was ever able to succinctly put it correctly, but when you fly into Venice, you fly over, you're on your way to Marco Polo, you generally get to see a vision of what Venice looks like.
Yes.
And it's like a
if you're on the
Lido.
right,
Yeah.
if you're on the right side of the plane, yeah.
There's a Lido, like a sandbar that separates this lagoon from the Adriatic. And inside that lagoon are all these little islands. And on top of many of them is the city of Venice. The same thing is true of John F. Kennedy International Airport, because there is a sandbar. It's called Rockaway. And inside that, there are all these little tiny islands that's nothing is built
Here,
there.
you want to hear a snick and a snap?
Yeah, I want
A
to hear
snick and snap to kill all snicks and snaps.
Is this the ultimate snick and snap?
Yeah, because it's such a minty Rolex.
Yeah. Ooh. Wow.
I mean, yours has that because it was never touched, and Emmett has it because it's fucking brand new. But they lose that fresh snick and snap. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, that's fine. You did it for the snick and the snap.
I just because you were talking about the shine of the.
Should I do the
Royal
snick
Oak.
and the snap? Let me try.
Yeah, let's hear it up to the microphone. That didn't come through.
Is that kind of? You didn't hear it?
I mean, I heard it, but it wasn't like
Oh,
it wasn't meaty.
hold on.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And
I have tape on mine. It's still taped.
you don't have a snick and snap. You have a snick.
I have a snick. I don't have the
Because you
snick
don't
and
have the
snap.
extra, yeah.
That's true. I don't. I love this.
Emmett's has the
bracelet.
21 mil wide bracelet and clasp. It's so much bigger and thicker than the older version.
Oh,
So
yeah.
his one goes clink clink.
Tell you what happened to me today when I was watching something and I clapped. It opened. I went like this. It's not doing it now.
Oh, it opened?
It did.
Oh, that's unusual. You know how
Yeah.
many thousands of times they open and close them? You know it takes a year to make a Rolex?
No, it does. I think it was my fault.
takes
I
1
probably didn't
year.
snick it enough.
You know, they have a machine that opens and closes them constantly. They leave it going overnight.
I believe it. It's not happening now. But it did happen to me today. It's David and Stefani's kid, Ettore, he's the cutest thing in the whole wide world. And we're walking around and he goes, "You'll find me." He's a chubby little kid and he was so hungry. And
Yeah, because it was probably noon, and which is 6 for
He
him.
wanted lunch.
Yeah, he was. His body is still craving food.
Yeah.
You have to account for that when you have
He's
Italians in
the
town.
most adorable thing ever. Then he finished his. I took them to a diner, Asheen.
Oh my god, they must have loved it. At 1 hour,
about 2:30.
which is
Yeah.
getting into the evening for them.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. But they hadn't had no pranzo. They had colazione.
So
They had
okay.
breakfast, but they had cornetto e cafe and stuff like that.
Right.
So she got a Reuben sandwich and Pietro got a Reuben sandwich, and they really liked it. And Davide and Ettore got cheeseburger deluxe.
They must have loved it. Because that's the stuff you have to do with the Italians when they come to New York. You have to give them all the New York stuff. Mangiano porcata, they want porcata, onta,
Sure.
schifezze, all of that. That's what they want. They want to just check out stuff that they literally can't get here. Not
Right.
good.
Like mozzarella.
It's still
sticks.
hard to get a decent cheeseburger here. It's still hard. It's
Well, at the Hard
really
Rock, you
is.
don't get a good one.
That it's okay. I feel like it's okay. No one from the United States will go, wow, that's a great burger. It's impossible. By the way, I had a lovely massage. One of the bartenders
Really?
in the Hard Rock. She's so great. We hang out a little. I think she's gay, but she's really fun. And we smoked cigars one night. I met her in the Rialto Mercato, and I was like, she comes up behind me like this, and she grabs my shoulders. She's like, "Ciao, amore," and I was like, "Oh, that feels good. I have tension in my." And she goes, "Do you want me to give you a massage?" And she spent 10 minutes on my neck. I was like,
So it
You
wasn't
have
like
no
you're naked on a
idea.
table. It was like the ambush shoulder massage.
She just went for I wasn't lying back. She just went for the shoulders and the neck. Oh,
That'll do
man.
it, man.
Oh God, she had great hands for it as well. She was really digging in. I was like, go for it.
She a professional? Just
No, I was
innately
like, you
talented?
know how to do this. And she goes, I do massage all the time. I don't know what she means by that. You know, she's massaging her friend or girlfriends or something. But it was really nice. Haven't had one of those in a very long time.
Are you one of the type of fellas that have you ever gone for like the full body massage shiatsu?
I've been down in Chinatown a few times and gotten a bit of shiatsu, but I do it myself.
Okay.
I was really like, you know, the ex-girlfriends always love that. Give me a foot rub and give me a neck rub and do my back, crack my back and all that.
Sure,
I know how to do it, but I don't know many people who know how to do it to me, especially girlfriends. They're useless. They don't have the strength in their hands.
You got to get a man to do a man's job.
Well, if you go down into Chinatown, they have the seats where you stick your face through with the circle. You sit on it, and the guy goes at you with his fucking elbow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He uses his elbow on your back. It's like, it's almost painful, but you get up, you're a new man. $20.
If you go to a Rolliphist, they're the ones that beat the shit out of you so bad that you pee purple the next day because it's so many toxins because it's deep tissue massage.
Yeah, I mean
that's
true skill.
It's true skill, and it's like a really good for your body.
You don't realize how much you needed it until you get it done. You're like, oh my God, there was all this tension, all these thoughts, all these worries I have building up my back and shoulders. Whoa. And it just comes out. I just turned into a floppy mess. I was at the bar.
I mean, it was at the bar. Isn't that nice?
She just went hell for leather. I was like, fucking, I dropped my phone. I was just like this. I was like, do it, go. I think there's a lot of tourists that sit at that bar. You know, no Italians go to Hard Rock, really. Except for some of the gondolieri, they park nearby and they go in for some nachos. But
that's made. That restaurant's made.
They were looking at us. What the fuck is going on? I was like, I don't care. This is great.
Ray with €5. Get EOM.
Emmett O'Malley.
Emmett. Okay.
He's speaking in his Morse code from the ship. He's out in the waves right now. Yeah. On wind direction south by southwest, 20 knots.
Yeah. About G strings and plectrums. Oh, you want him to come on here and just talk dirty to you about, I got an 88 millimeter plectrum. This Jim Dunlop that I've got in my hand, it's textured and it's 88 millimeters. Now
that's 80. We don't. I like the black. I like the 1 millimeter.
No, this is the 1 millimeter. This is the black 1 millimeter. This is the 8.
It looks great.
That's the 88.
Oh, I see.
That's the 1 millimeter. I like 1 millimeter too.
I used to get those in my teeth. There, because look, I have fangs. See,
the canines.
I got the canines, right?
Like
I used to go into them because it would put a little dent in them, and it would make it nicer, easier to grip.
Yeah.
Because some of the nights, mad drunk, I would be hammering at that guitar so hard that the pick would be hanging on for dear life.
No, these are the two different ones. Now, let's get really geeky. These are the classic Jim Dunlops that you probably used, the classic USA nylons. But this is what they make now. Oh, you can't see them. It's gray. Now they have super grip on them, which is nice, I guess, if you like that.
Yeah, the more grip, the better.
How do you feel now, Ray? Why don't you take that belt off, and now we'll start talking about strings. What gauge do you like? I like 9s. Let's give him a super chat. Let's give him Cuckold Man. And then
I swear to God, since I got this AP serviced, it's such a joy. Sometimes I leave it down deliberately so it stops, so I have to go and wind it and reset the time just for the joy of it. Because it's just unbelievable.
Well, that thing is gorgeous. Travis Watts with $10. Haven't had much time to join the weekly streams lately, Dirk. Busy with work. Still love the content. Thank you, buddy. Asheen loved the gold sub video. Yeah, it was a great one. The Bluesy, the most beautiful watch in the world. YM2 is not working. What does that mean? YM2.
Yachtmaster 2. Is it Yachtmaster?
It's discontinued, isn't it?
It is now.
Watch It's Brian says 1908 and the Cellini line are both not water resistant.
Oh, thank you, Watch It's Brian.
Thanks. Of course you would.
Yeah, they're dress watches. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't be wearing those into the pool.
So you can't. Is Calatrava completely useless in the rain?
Probably.
Wow.
You know, I'm out of my depth right now because I've never owned one or held one. I've never even held a Calatrava in my hands. Can you believe it?
I've done that.
You
That's
have?
about as far as I got. Yeah.
Oh.
Daniel Gutierrez says Dirk waters down even wine, not red, my darling, not red,
Not red.
but
Only
white
white,
wine I
it's
do
only
because I
white.
don't like white wine. I think white wine is just.
It's because you don't drink. No, don't start.
I don't
You
like
know
it.
white wines because you buy a Chardonnay or Pinot Grigio.
I
at the
don't
store.
ever buy
You know what I had
Chardonnay.
tonight? I had Incrocio
You have
Mazzoni.
Montrachet? Okay, yeah, but
I
you
had
like structured
Riesling
crazy
mixed.
wines. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
grafted with a Pinot Grigio, Riesling grafted with a Pinot Grigio stem,
Yeah.
and that created Incrocio Mazzoni 6013. This is a mix that he came up with in 1930, Mr. Enrico Mazzoni.
I find white wine just gives me agita later on. Just does. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I've had all the great Montrachets. I've had all that shit, but you know, I'm a red guy. I like all the good French shit. And, you know, the good Italian shit. Andriy Levichun. I think John has a Russian accent already. I never heard him to sound Russian at all.
No,
At all.
no, me
Not at
neither.
all. Dan Spitz. I couldn't remember his name because I've never met the guy, so I don't know him. Yeah, he's the watchmaker. But who is his brother? His brother is Dave the Beast Spitz. I know that because he was in Black Sabbath for 5 minutes. Dave the Beast Spitz. Yeah, that guy. I've watched him on. He's like a tiny little guy. He's like 5'1" or 5'2". He's like smaller than Prince, but he's a master watchmaker. I believe his family were in the business before he became a guitar player, and he just decided to go back into the family business. I think that's probably what he did. But yeah, Dan Spitz, yeah, he's and he was working on. I think he's got his own family brand of watchmaking now. I don't think he's repairs, or I don't think he's working on old movements. I think he's actually building watches. Could be.
Aaron says check out the Austrian whites, the Grunzner Veltliner or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
it's actually
weighs
quite
down,
nice.
yeah.
But
I'll still put
it's not
Chuck Ice
complex.
because
Yeah, it's not complex. It's light fare. It's very good for the hot weather. But it's not it's not a structured white, as I would call it. The structured whites are
say that 5 times a day and it can pull her hair out. She's like structured white.
it takes you as long to get through it as you would through a complex red.
Yeah.
Trust me, it took me years to figure out what a structured white was. And I mean, if you hand me, like, honestly, if you want the simple, I mean, the Grutner Veltliner, whatever is, and anything from Alsace is interesting. They're crisp. The German whites are interesting. But, you know, it's fine. Just get a Suave, like a simple regular Suave.
I love a Suave. That
Yeah,
I
it's
love.
just, it's like water,
Yeah.
you know.
When
But,
we were in, we went up to Romeo and Juliet's real castles. That's right near Suave.
That's Suave Land,
Yeah,
right
Suave
there.
Land.
Yeah.
We went
The town of Suave is down the street.
right there. We went through it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget because Dana was like, I like, because she hates Italian wine. She's like, I like this. And it was crisp and delicious. So good. We can't get that.
She came around. She liked Al Forno. She likes the big marmalade reds. If she was in Tuscany, it'd be a different story. She wouldn't have a problem.
Aaron O'Malley says, on my route, I passed a massage place called We Suck. Haven't had the heart to go in and tell them. Maybe they mean that.
Maybe they really mean it. There's a double entendre.
Isn't that, you know, because I'm one of those people that I don't care how lonely I'd have to be for the rest of my life. I can't imagine putting somebody through a sexual experience that they're not interested in being in. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing worse. And I know
they're getting paid. They're getting paid.
I know, but I still
It's
can't
easy
wrap my
money.
head around that.
Did you ever see the videos online of like guys picking up girls in the Philippines and stuff, the lady boys and stuff?
Lady boys. Yeah.
When one of the guys goes, okay, because there's like 6 girls or whatever they are trying to talk to him, and he goes, okay, and he grabs one girl's hand and walks away. They all applaud, and he walks off.
Why do they applaud?
because she's going to make her $100 or whatever.
Oh.
Because she's bringing him off to one of the rooms or whatever.
And that dirty German tourist cunt is going to do the worst things that T-girl's ever seen. And it's horrific. I just, ugh.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah, I mean, that people go to rub and tugs. I can't even imagine that. It's like, why make somebody else do that when you can just go do that for yourself and not involve a third party? Just seems so ridiculous to me.
I was watching the Soft White Underbelly there about a month ago or two, where they had this divorce lawyer guy on, and he was talking about divorce and marriage and everything. It was a real slap of reality.
Yeah.
And I mean, not for me. I mean, I was like, yeah. But I can imagine people in a happily married or newly married going, no, it can't be true. But it was a lot of harsh reality in there. But he was talking about a client he had who he was going for these, he's going for massages and happy endings and little things. And he's paying his $75 or whatever. And he got fucked in the court for it. And it turned out the wife hadn't fucked him in 8 years. And the lawyer's like, what's the problem? Like, at least he's not like out making a whole other family and getting somebody else in love or commitments and stuff. He's just the guy earns $1 million a year.
He cheated on her.
He wants to pay $100 just because his wife doesn't look at him anymore for 8 years. Like, I don't know. Anyway, there's the Royal Oak shimmer.
Yeah. Oh, you look at you swapped. I didn't even see you do that.
I was setting it there.
Oh, is that what was going on there?
Yeah.
Patricia T, you're in the room. You know, Patricia, you're one of the 0.128%. I was telling everybody about how I got to see the demographic and how I on my shows I only get less than 2% ladies. I was like, and I was naming them all. I was like, Patricia, she's in there too. Great to see you in the room. We have Ray with £2, €2. Christ compels thee. The power of Christ compels thee. The power of Christ compels thee.
I'm going to use my analytics to see where mine is.
I'm sure you have way more chickaroonies. Here's a ding for you. And then Nathaniel Hannon with $1.99 for dessert. A 2017 Smoking Loon Syrah.
Oh, Smoking Loon. I know that well.
Yeah, that's like a maple. You could put that on your pancakes, right? You're in the wrong room.
I've 9% females.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah, 91%.
Now,
guys.
I'm the gay dude. I should have girls galore, right? Like, ladies.
Yeah.
I should have tons of them, but I don't. I have all the straight 16.
9%? What about
That's
180? Good. That's how many thousands of women? That's crazy.
He has it.
I wish they'd write me.
Women.
I wish they'd ask me out for. I keep getting messages from people coming through Venice. It's all men, fathers with their kids,
Right?
Which is fine, but I could use some of the ladies to reach out and go, "Hey, I'm in Venice. I'd love to buy you a drink, or you can buy me a drink."
I'm in Venice, and I'm not wearing anything. You got to watch that movie I sent you the other day. You'll just get a kick out of it because Jean Moreau is in it, and she's such a weird actress, such a weird French.
Ava?
Yeah, the movie Ava I told you about that's shot in Venice in 1962.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
And the clothes, because you know, the gay guy talks to the straight guy about like so like when women wear negligees, is that a thing that you really like? And he goes, yeah. And she wears something in this movie that is maybe the sexiest thing I've ever seen on a woman in my life. And she's not the most beautiful woman. She was beautiful, but she's cast against a woman named Verna Lisi, who is one of the most beautiful creatures that's ever walked the face of this earth. And she's wearing a negligee in this thing. And it's one of those super short, like kind of like a blousey thing, and it's sheer, and it's got the like little fuzzy pom-poms on the end of it. I was like, now I get why that floats all the straight guys' boats, because it's just the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, negligees, right? Victoria's Secret.
I'm hearing gay stuff. That's all I'm hearing.
What do you mean you're hearing gay stuff?
You're like, oh, the negligee.
What should I call it?
Meanwhile, like red-blooded males are like, I don't know
have
what it
red
is.
blood.
I
It's
want to
just-
rip it apart.
Oh, yeah, but you like a negligee, right? You do.
Sure, I just don't think about it. We're so much more primitive. Sorry. It's like
So-
white lingerie.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck off.
So you want black or red?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What do you think we're after?
No, I know
White
what
blood
you're
makes
after.
you look
But
all angelic and lovely, and it's nice, but it's like women always go, "Oh, don't you like this because it's white?" You're missing the point completely.
so I have a very serious question to ask you. Then, in films, whenever
It's always
we,
white because it's
whenever we
always
see a guy like who's trying to court or seduce a woman, he'll send her like gorgeous lingerie. Is that for her?
it's for him.
Yeah, but he doesn't really care because he just can't wait.
Remember
to...
Working Man, Alec Baldwin and
No, I know.
Melanie Griffith.
Yeah.
He keeps giving her lingerie, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Thanks, honey, but this
Yeah.
isn't this more for you than for me?"
Yeah. So then, but it's not
Totally.
really for you because you just want to tear. her
Mind
off
you, I'll tell you, the doctor from I keep referring to her. It was the last significant relationship I was in. So it's the most recent reference I have of this kind of activity. She never had anyone buy her stuff like that, and I bought all sorts of stuff. And she loved it. She was like, "Really, you want to see me in this? Really, you want to see me in that?" And like she gobbled it up. It was wild. I took her to a sex shop in New York when we were there, and man, I lost her. It was like losing someone in a library. Where is she gone? You know, she got lost in the sex shop with all the stuff, and then we wind up at the counter. I was like, "How much shit do you have? What is that? Really?" You know, she dosed. It was no shame. Zero, because most girls, you take them to a sex shop and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so dirty," and "Oh no," whereas she was like, "Oh yeah, let's get it on." Boom. I've never seen chains this heavy. I was like, "Yeah, that's a good 2 kilos of chains."
That's
like,
a great gauge of chain.
Yeah, the chain.
I
yeah.
prefer the 3.5 over the 7.2.
Yeah, she's like, "These are real serious shit." I was like, "You're in a sex shop in the West Village, darling. This is top shelf." You know, I think I spent fucking $300. The guy behind the counter, of course, all the people who work in sex shops in New York are
They're all
like
Sri Lankan.
heavily tattooed, and they've rings coming out of everything. And
Yeah.
you know, they've done it all. They've seen it all. And,
Oh yeah.
you know, and the dude was like, "Yeah, have a good time, guys."
I don't think there is that. I don't think that exists very much in New York anymore because I haven't seen one in ages. Like, where would they even be? There's so many
Take
laws.
the one down to the West Village. Get off at 7th and where 55 Bar is there, where the Village Vanguard is, and all around there. There's a couple of really hardcore sex shops.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I mean, it used to be the Pink Pussycat Boutique. Remember that? That was a famous one. And then there was the Leatherman, if you were into kinky shit and all that stuff.
sure, yeah. There's still, I think there. I mean, I haven't been back in New York in years, so
No.
maybe. But
It's changed a lot. John says that's because you're an old school gay. Yeah, but who do you think designed all that shit, John? We did. So you guys could get laid. Because men
True.
look at women as not objects of desire, but objects of goddesses. Because gay men look at the female form while they don't want to ravage it, think it's the most beautiful thing there ever was. Gay men worship women in a way because we don't want to hit that. We just want to adorn it in the most beautiful things so you can.
Easy says it used to be Times Square. I don't think there's one on Times Square anymore.
Times Square is the M&M store.
Yeah,
and
Shake Shack
Skechers.
and stuff. Yeah, it's not.
Swatch. Yeah.
No, it's too touristy. It's down in the West Village. That's where you'll find all those spots, and they're good. They're great stores.
Scott Ferraro with $5. Greetings from LA. Hey, LA. Happy Friday, fellas. Spent all day troubleshooting sample rates for a dialogue edit. Oh no, hard drive fail. Ooh.
Oh shit!
Cheers, Emma. You know,
We hate those hard drive
well,
fails.
we've been through it. I'm assuming this is a mech drive, is an SSD, because I'm always amazed when SSDs go down because you just don't expect it. But
You know, when an SSD goes down, it's down.
down, it's it.
It's gone.
The
But
goo.
you know, those days are kind of gone now because they were all faulty at first, and now they've ironed out those creases. It's
Yeah.
probably a mechanical drive, but you know, sometimes you need. I have a couple of 20 gig or 20 terabyte things for backup because now the channel. I mean, there's so much.
20 terabyte?
Yeah, they're just monsters because I have to dump all the footage. Ever since I got a 8K camera in 60 frame, 120 frames, and I'm shooting Ireland and all of that. The Ireland
20
project.
There's one drive that's 20? One drive?
Yeah,
They make that?
yeah. Yeah. Once I started shooting that stuff, it just Ireland is like 2.8 terabytes
Wow.
of footage. Isn't that crazy?
Gonna sneeze.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Scott Farr, let's give you a big bang. We hope you get your info back. That's for sure. We've been down that road more times than we'd like to talk about. Let's go. I haven't done any Gong Woman. I'm going to give you my favorite Gong Woman, Gong Woman 3. That's super cool.
She's so proud of her room of gongs, isn't she?
Guten Nacht from fresh Berlin. Berlin is the sexiest town in the universe.
After a good rain, he got a good rain, so it relieved the heat. It's a beautiful thing. We just had that the other day here.
Did I ever tell you my Berlin story? We were on the road, and the guys.
You
in
enjoyed the
crew,
bluesy video. Thank you so much, man. He spelled my name perfectly. Thank you.
Look at that, the fada and everything. The Berliners are very sexy people, and they're into like gummy. And so our roadies wanted to take us to a gummy club, and I was like, "Gummy? What is gummy?" And it's a rubber fetish club. And we watched a woman get liquid latex poured on top of her.
Oh yeah, and it turns into a suit. Yeah,
it turned into a suit, and it was the weirdest thing. And these guys were making.
I'm not into that, all that leather shit, but a
no.
hot German blonde. You know, fine.
Yeah, I get to.
I'll take her in any wrapping.
Yeah. Excuse me, Oshin. I have to make I have to do the performance for the gummy, but I'll meet you after 5:30. Okay, after 5. You know, and he's like, "Sure, why not? It's performance art."
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Let's give you a little bit for 10 balloons. Thank you for the 10 year. John is here. Thanks to the show, fellas. 2 more hours before my flight. Where are you stuck? Oh, from Dallas.
He's stuck. He's connected.
Jesus.
He was down at the border. He was doing some interrogations.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Cheers.
He used to do border control and all that. So we were talking earlier, and I played some of his message actually that he sent me on Instagram over the microphone earlier, because he kind of clarified the issue with illegal versus legal immigration. I thought it kind of put it very succinctly to clarify. Hopefully a couple of people watching my live stream got the goddamn point. He's pretty good with words as well. I don't think I could have put it as well, so I just played it over. But he got stuck with a delayed flight in Dallas. What's the name of the Dallas airport again?
I think it's Dallas Fort Worth. That's all I know.
Fort Worth.
Yeah, I mean, it's just 2 cities. It's like Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's the hub of America. I'm assuming you're on American because that's their hub. And yeah, the guy in the cuckold husband does look like Kevin Spacey. Listen, I've got a soft spot for our dear friend Kevin Spacey because he's just a handsy old queen. I've met a million of them. They're harmless. It's not a problem. But these people
what
all
happened
wanted
with
the
him
money.
though? He did that. He did the what's the guy? The podcast that was really good.
Lex
Friedman.
Yeah, it was
that was really, really good.
Was.
And then he went on Piers Morgan and wrecked it.
I mean, I didn't think it was wreckage. I just think, listen, when you're dealing with that utter fucking cunt who Piers Morgan is, I hate that guy.
Did you see Roger on there?
I did.
I wasn't good. I mean, Roger had his moments that were good.
Roger,
Roger's
needs to
trying.
stop.
He needs to stop.
He needs
He's
to
too
stop.
old and jittery
Too old.
now.
He
He's
can't
too
do it.
brittle. He's too brittle.
Yeah, he can't
His
do it
heart
anymore.
is in the right place, but he's too brittle. And there's Piers just hammering. He's in the middle of answering a question.
He's Joe Biden.
And Piers is just like hammers with boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. He's not as bad as Joe Biden. Joe Biden is fading away, but he's
Bad.
yeah.
It was bad. I actually couldn't watch the whole thing because I was like, oh, he Bidened out. It was really bad. And then right after that, I went and I watched the Roger Waters and the Scorpions at the Berlin Wall 1990. And I forgot. I hadn't watched that show in ages. Roger was amazing.
Yeah, sure.
Remember that show?
Roger
Joni
goes in
Mitchell?
waves. Roger goes in waves. He's like he did a pro-Palestine thing as well in the States, and he hadn't slept because he had crazy jet lag, and he was super shaky on the piano and stuff. But then I saw him on a thing a few days later, and he was in form. This is the problem as you get really old. You have good days and bad days. We saw it with Biden. Sometimes he's a little clearer, and then sometimes he's like there's no one home at all. It's like the light is flickering. The light is flickering as it goes out, right?
Yep. It is. Yep. And it's a shame.
Doesn't matter now.
Doesn't matter now. It doesn't really matter. But I watched that and it was really hard. So I just decided I couldn't believe how great. And the vocal was live because obviously we're not getting live vocals out of Roger anymore either. But and the Celine Dion thing, who was it that didn't realize that was pre-recorded in our little text chat? You guys knew that it was pre-recorded.
No, I forwarded you that thing because it was saying that she insisted on being live.
Yeah, well,
but yourself and Emmett both agreed. It's just publicity.
It is. And I'm not going to go after her in any way, shape, or form. That's Celine Dion. She's given us a lifetime of unbelievable singing, and she has no.
At least she can stand on a stage.
Exactly. I'm happy
I thought
for
she
that.
was dead. I thought she was almost dead.
You and I had a conversation where we saw that interview and we're like, oh God, we're going to get the news any day now.
Yeah. I mean, she was decrepit.
We were convinced of it.
She had that weird condition.
She's got stiff person syndrome and it could go either way. But like you and I both know Paul from the wine store. That guy's had MS now for 15 years.
Wow.
And we all thought he was going to die within the first 2 years. You know, so that guy's still around. You never know with these neurological diseases that people get. Listen, Celine Dion, listen, I'll make fun of anybody who lip syncs live, Paul Stanley and Don Henley and all the pop twats that are out there. But you know what? That she's given us more than enough. The strength and courage that it took for her to put on a dress and have her hair done and lip sync beautifully, by the way. She did an immaculate job. Well, there's a website that a guy that I watched named Wings of Pegasus. He's a nice guy. He's an English guy named Phil, and he went through the video and he goes, "Listen, I'm a fan. She's amazing, but this is a pre-recorded performance because look here, it's all tuned." And then you see where all the lines on the thing were completely pinned to the note. And he fixed it, and that's okay because it's her. I don't give any.
Did you give John a ding there?
No, I'm going to give him one now because I went off on a tangent. Here, Gong 1 and 2, baby. You like how she gives you that harmonic right at the very end?
Yeah. Did you leave it play all the way out? I thought I left in that bit where she rolls the thing around the
That's
rim.
the other one.
Oh, that's the. I thought
there's several of them there.
Okay.
I always go for 3 because I feel like she's now.
No, but I like that one because she goes like this.
Oh, that's the other one.
Okay.
I'll play that. Why not? Oh, this one. That's sexy. That's pretty amazing stuff. Who's running the country then? Are we at a point where it doesn't matter? Pretty much it doesn't really matter.
Hey, it's common knowledge that in the final 6 months of Trump's Trump's position there that they were like, we're not letting him near any of the buttons.
Yeah.
They were all like, no, like he can shout all he wants at the TV and the public, but if he calls and says push any buttons, we're not pushing any, because it turns out there are very smart and responsible people who have their responsibility over ending the world.
Thank God for that. But like, other
countries.
countries don't have that, you know. Like, do you think like Russia has that with Vladimir Putin, or do you think he's like, "Fuck you," and opens the tech box? I mean, I don't know.
I'm completely unqualified with that. I don't know.
Me too. I'm completely unqualified.
But I read all the Mike Miley stuff.
Yeah.
About those final weeks, and thank God for that, man, because otherwise it would have been rough. So we have him. He's a true military man, and he fucking saved us from complete disaster in those final weeks. They had to land the plane. That was the terminology. They were like, we just want to land this plane before it crashes. Yeah. He's trying to start a war with Iran.
John says the U.S. government is like a corporation. The CEO matters, but not as much as you'd think. I would agree. And Ray says with a super chat, €2. John, any news out of the Entourage? That's covert operations, man.
You can't ask.
Can't tell you about that, Ray. But I'll give you a cowbell. That's not for anybody to know. So who gets the monetization on the gongs and the cowbell? Are those copywritten? That's a good question.
They're too short, I think. I mean, if there were clips of the Beatles, they wouldn't be too short.
It won't be long. Like Emmett did. That was like,
that was really good.
That was really good. He was like,
you kept it under like 2 seconds. Yeah.
Blackbird singing in the
right.
That's it. He whispered to me, he goes, just go, Blackbird singing in the It was really, really, really funny. Good stuff. Well, that's 2 hours we're in.
All right.
You were on for 2 hours. Thanks everybody for the show tonight. Tonight.
Let me see if Tim's on so I can send the rest of the crowd over to Tim if they want to watch.
Send them over.
Watch content.
Thank you, JHB.
Tim's live, so I'll be able to send. Let me
give him a cowbell. Because you deserve it, baby. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. Let me go through this. Super chats for all the people who took the time to support the show. Andrew Wolkowicz, Mike Hammer, Carlos Ramirez, Felipe Achilles Greche, Kieran Kelly, guitarist Ray, Angelo Minichello, Andrew Wolkowicz, Ray, Nathaniel Hahn, and Mr. G. Mike Hammer, Kieran Kelly again, JHB again, Ray again, Travis Watts. Where have you been all my life? I miss you with your Ray's here. Nathaniel Hannon, Scott Ferrara, Andre Levchun, John, Ray, JHB again. You guys are on fire. Thank you all. How nice of you. So nice to have you all supporting the iBashers world.
Guys, let it play out, and we'll play the music and just let it run, and it'll pop you over to Timmy. He's probably talking. I think he's talking all the new APs and stuff. That looks interesting.
All those beautiful becrusted.
Oh, there's a lovely chocolate dial offshore.
Oh, is it really? Is that sexy?
It's gorgeous.
Is that better than Vernalisi in a gorgeous white negligee? Well, you have a choice. Here's the new AP. Or Vernalisi in a negligee. It all depends on the week, my friends. Yeah. Guys, remember to hold the door open, say please and thank you, and always remember when you encounter unkindness, you can't always know what that person is going through. They might be having a bad day, either that or they're a fucking cunt.